subscribe. You got me mad now.
All right, welcome back to Strong Mid-Card Podcast. Oh man, what a week. What a freaking week, guys. Whew, man, I hope you guys are doing good. First and foremost, healthy, staying indoors, man. Don't be like those crazy people out there protesting. It's another story for another day, but please stay home and stay healthy. Stay sanitized, stay clean, do the right thing, man. We'll be out of this soon, man. If everybody just does what they're supposed to do. First and foremost, let's just say R.I.P. to the best announcer that ever was, man. If you're around my age area, or you like watching the old archives, that voice, that Howard Finkel voice, is synonymous with the golden era of the World Wrestling Federation, with wrestling in general. So. Rest in peace to the best, man. Definitely a voice of our childhood. That's definitely one of the ones. It's just he had a great voice, you know what I mean? Especially when everybody talks about, of course, the and new. That's it was just synonymous with that guy. Hashtag and new. That's all his. That's all Finkel. I mean, I love what Buffer's doing. I mean, I think he's this generation's Finkel, but Finkel did first, and I think even he bows his head to that guy, man. So that's my phone. Sorry about that. I think that's Roger. Of course it's Roger. He's quarantined right now too, but he's sending me a message here. I think he's reminding me to do this podcast. Anyway, and yes, he is. Okay, so R.I.P. Finkel, man. We're going to miss him, and we all knew that he was in bad health in the last few years, and from what I was reading, that even in his hospital where he was staying in hospice, I think he was staying at, probably at the end, that he was reminding him every Monday that he wanted to watch Raw, and fan to the end. He was the first employee of WWE. And stuck with him until the end, and they kept him on the payroll, thankfully, to the end. So he did what he did, for his whole life, pretty much. He did what he wanted to do, and biggest fan of all time, I would say, right? And so rest in peace, Mr. Finkel. You will be missed. Okay, let's get into the big news, man. Just the firing spree this past Wednesday. The notable names, Hawkins and Ryder and Rusev, I mean, we all kind of saw that one coming. Not really surprised about that one, but some of these other releases were very surprising. I think surprising in the sense that you kind of felt like these guys were just going to be there forever, being, enhancement talents. Like Heath Slater and those kind of guys. I was kind of surprised that they let go of, oh my God, what's her name? I'm totally drawing a blank. What's his name's wife? Jesus. Where's my list? There it is. Sarah Logan. That one I'm kind of surprised about because, I mean, I thought she was, she had a good future on her. She had gotten a lot better. I don't like this gimmick they gave her last. I actually liked the gimmick she came in with. It kind of fit her. She just needed better writers to write her better lines. I think that's what kind of did her in, is with the first time she got on the microphone and try to sound like too southern, you know what I mean? Freaking, like, I don't know what the hell they were trying to do with her, but they killed her character right then and there. And when the Riot Squad split, she was pretty much done for. But I thought she had a good upside, but I guess not. Some of the other names: EC3, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, of course, Leo Rush, another surprising one, man. Eric Young, not really too surprised about. Kurt Angle, I felt like he always deserved better from them, and they always just kind of treated him like shit. So, you know what? Yeah, fuck them for doing that to him, man. First, you got him jobbing to fucking Corbin on his last match, which was stupid. And Corbin is, doing whatever he is doing now. Nobody benefited from that, really. Aiden English, not really surprised about that. I think he was done to being an announcer. Mike Chioda, very surprising. Been there forever. Another guy that had been there forever, and they just kind of decided to drop him. I'm wondering if he was making too much money compared to the other refs. The other refs are probably not making much. Rowan, it's kind of surprising because they usually like these big hulking guys, but I mean, those guys usually get built to lose to the biggest babyface, and then they're kind of, they turn them into dancing fools pretty much. Let's see, Primo and Epico. Surprised that we're still there. Mike Kanellis and Maria Kanellis, I mean, they got their history of trying to get out of there, and now they are. It's kind of hard for people to feel bad for them. I mean, the reason I feel bad for them is because they got another kid on the way, so, I mean, and they fired both of them, so that's kind of fucked on WWE's behalf. Like I said, Zack Ryder, No Way Jose, and, that guy had been kind of dropped down to enhancement talent, but I can see him kind of making a comeback because of his personality alone, his work. Maybe he's hiding abilities that we don't know about. But I could definitely see No Way Jose in an Impact, or even like a Ring of Honor, just kind of almost being the same kind of character, but you know, allowed to actually wrestle and show what he's got. Almost in a way Juice Robinson did, or you know, somebody like that didn't get a good chance and they kind of, you know, worked similar angle, but you know, kind of with a little bit more edge. I think he can do that. He's got enough personality. I'm hoping he has good wrestling ability. You know, these guys that only get trained simply in the WWE style have a hard time when they go to other federations to keep up with that indie style. So we'll see how that goes. Deanna Purrazzo, I am surprised about that, man. She's really good, but you know, AEW probably, or even Ring of Honor. So she's probably better off, honestly. Alexander Jaksic, don't know who that is, and MJ Jenkins. Dan Matha, no! Tainara again? Wasn't she already dropped? And then they brought her back, and now they're just dropping her? Jesus, man, they are ruthless in this one. Alright, let's see. Who gets the upside here, guys? Rusev has enough personality to get him over. I'm not sure about his wrestling ability outside the WWE style. Maybe if he likes the more stiffer stuff, you know, the harder edge stuff, he could probably do some damage in New Japan, but I can definitely see him like in a Ring of Honor or an Impact. I'm not sure that AEW could benefit all that much from Rusev. That's just my take on it, because I don't really see anything past, you know, kind of what he's doing now. Like I saw a good personality when they were doing that what do you call it, that mockumentary fake wrestling thing we were doing when he was playing like a hillbilly. That showed promise, man, but I'm not sure if, you know, I mean, the AEW does need some hosses, but he's not that big of a hoss anymore. So I don't know. To me, I think he could help out Ring of Honor, New Japan maybe, or even Impact. I think Impact can benefit a lot from these guys. Ring of Honor definitely needs to grab some of these guys. Leo Rush, I can see him in AEW for sure, man, because he could get in there with Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, all those guys. I know he has a bit of an attitude problem, but I think this might humble him a little bit. I'm pretty sure he might make some appearances at CCW just to kind of go back home. But again, Ring of Honor, I could see him in the juniors division in New Japan. I'm pretty sure he would love to go to Japan and do a tournament there for that. Gallows and Anderson, not sure if AEW can use them since they got the revival more than likely coming in. I can see Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows going back to New Japan and maybe even starting their own faction going against Bullet Club. Maybe they can build some kind of a faction war there. That'd be interesting, because that'll give, you know, I know New Japan is really faction heavy, but I think there'd be enough interest where you can milk like maybe almost close to a year with that. Like Anderson and Gallows, take a couple other guys with them from WWE, kind of do that invasion thing, you know, take, you know, Hawkins and Ryder with them or something like that, or even Rusev, like I said, or Rowan or something, you know, just a bunch of big hosses. And just, you know, go do some fights, like some actual fights, the kind of fights that they like in New Japan with, you know, big forearms and that kind of stuff. Hard kicks and hard knees. That would be interesting. I would like to see that. Like maybe a few of these guys get together and do a faction and go to New Japan, try and do an invasion angle. AEW, I think the fans are too smart to fall for that, and they would just boo the shit out of the building. Ring of Honor, I think, could benefit for something like that. Even Impact can benefit from something like that. But we'll see, man. I mean, these guys can all still work. These guys all got enough talent. Carl Anderson, I think, has a solo run in him in New Japan. I think I can totally see him going to war with Naito for the IC championship, man. I know Gato, I remember reading, had a real hard time with Anderson leaving because Carl Anderson kind of worked his way up, man, to being like a credible singles wrestler before he became a tag wrestler and joined the Bullet Club. So, I mean, we'll see how they treat him if he goes back. Drake Maverick, now this one is interesting, man, because I think Drake Maverick is a creative guy. So I can see him working in the back, like doing, you know, producing stuff, or maybe coming up with angles. Or, I mean, if he's going to be in the ring, I think Impact would love to have him back. I think it'd be interesting to see him in Ring of Honor. I don't think AEW can get much use out of him, honestly. New Japan, probably not, unless he goes into the juniors division and does something there. But I think Drake Maverick, if he wants to put his creative mind to work, can probably get a job at any of them. But as far as in the ring, maybe fewer options. Let's see, EC3. That one's going to be an interesting one, man, because if you guys have been listening to me, I've been pushing for EC3 to be part of MJF's crew, because MJF kind of became what EC3 probably should have became. So I don't know if you bring him into AEW and make them kind of click up with Mr. Mayhem and MJF right there with some kind of trio, some kind of triple threat type of alliance, or is EC3 still a guy who has to be the guy? He doesn't have to be a lackey. Maybe he goes against MJF. Maybe there's something there. Maybe he just goes completely, different and does something else. Who knows, man? Maybe he drops the EC3 moniker and does something else, man. Maybe just, starts fresh, starts new. If you saw his little promo he did on Twitter, it looks like he's ready to start fresh and start anew. So good luck to him, because he's definitely, I think he's still got a few years left of good work in him. For sure, he's got a good, he's ready to be in front of the camera, So we'll see what happens with him. Hopefully, like I said, there's an upside to all these people, man. Heath Slater, he can still be a great comedy act. I could see him being a Colt Cabana or like a Yano or something like that. I think him fighting Yano in New Japan would be money. Him going to Ring of Honor and kind of replacing Colt Cabana and doing, that funny shtick there would be funny. NWA, he can probably get some good work there. AEW, I'm not so sure. He's another guy. I don't know if he'd be a right fit or not. So Impact, for sure. I think I already said Impact. But, I think he's got enough charisma and great comic sensibility and great comic timing, so where he can get unless I'm not, like I said, like a Colt Cabana type of guy. So and him and I think Ryder and Hawkins, kind of, you could tell they're kind of, because those t-shirts came up mighty fast, man, and they're doing good. So good for them. They're getting some income, man. Mike Kanellis or Ring of Honor, he has to go back to Ring of Honor, and they got to do something with him. He needs to show up with that giant beard that he has. Go total heel, or go, something where him and Matt Taven are fighting each other and make people care about Matt Taven again. I think Bennett, Miracle Mike Bennett, can go back to Ring of Honor. I think he needs to go back to Ring of Honor. That's money right there, man. I think Ring of Honor definitely needs to capitalize on this and get some of that crowd back. They lost a lot of the crowd when AEW started. So hopefully when all this pandemic stuff goes away and we get some crowds back and the shows back, hopefully we can get. I think he'd be great there, going back to Ring of Honor, getting some crowds back. So I think there's enough people out there for everybody to pick up ones that they need. I hope AEW doesn't just go crazy and buy a bunch of these guys or get a bunch of these guys. I don't think they will. I think the rest of the year is probably going to be a little bit calm as far as bringing in guys, unless it's like the Revival or just somebody huge, maybe some new guys from the independents. That's what I like to see, some new guys from the indies come up there. But like I said, guys like Heath Slater, guys like No Way Jose, I can see them in Impact. I can see them in Ring of Honor doing the comedy shtick. I would love to see Heath Slater versus Joey Ryan. So Impact would be dope, I think, for him. Or even in the NWA doing silly stuff. All these guys can do that. So, good luck to them. I think they'll be fine. And they just got, like all of us, got to get through this pandemic thing right now, where a lot of people aren't going to be working, man. So, if you're out there to support these guys, like always, check out their merch shop and pick up a shirt, man, for them, and hopefully we see them soon. Hopefully we get past all of this soon. So what else we got in the news? So WWE apparently didn't even need to drop these guys. According to Dave Meltzer, they had like $500 million, I think, saved away for an emergency, and that could have just, I think he added up and could have paid everybody for another year at least. And that's kind of cold-blooded, man, but we really can't be surprised. Vince McMahon is just a cold-blooded motherfucker, as we all have known forever. And it's business first, you know what I mean? And he's got a publicly owned company. He's got to make up that money. I mean, the rumors were going around that the reason they wanted to tape everything live still is because Fox demanded, or in the contract said they had a certain amount of live shows that needed to be made by the end of the year, or the contract. So, I mean, who knows? There's so much like shadiness and a lot of gray going around as far as WWE goes. Like, some reports are saying that they're still going to make money at the end of the year. All the actions they've been doing lately kind of leads you to believe that they're maybe in trouble financially, and no Saudi shows and that kind of stuff is just, who knows, man. It's all so cloudy right now, just with everything in general, and then the whole sort of scandal that they paid $18 million to pretty much be considered an essential business. It's also kind of shady, and it's in Florida, so surprise, surprise, I guess. And who knows where they go from here to the end of the year, man. Like, the rest of this year is pretty much just a slow burn. We got to kind of watch what's going on day by day, because shit just changes day by day. As long as, like, if you read the pandemic stuff, some stuff, it looks like we're peaking and it's going okay. 2 days later, if you look at your local news, like I know from where I live, one day we had only 2 cases, and the next day we're up to 18. So it's crazy the way this thing is traveling. So, hopefully with summer coming up and this heat helps out a lot, man. Hopefully these numbers aren't being blown out of proportion. Hopefully we're because we're counting a lot on the media to give us the truth. So, like it's the same thing with the wrestling. Hopefully we get a lot of truth out here, because when stuff like this is going around, there's a lot of fake stories going around. So, podcasts like mine and the bigger podcasts, we got to kind of comb through everything and make sure everything's legit, because we don't want to throw a bunch of false narratives and fake stories and stuff that isn't true out there. So, jeez, it's going to be a tough summer, I think. But hopefully we get through it, man. And everything turns out fine. What else you got here? Money in the Bank is going to be in the WWE Towers, I guess, starting from the bottom all the way to the top. I'm guessing another cinematic whatever matches. I said in the last podcast, I hope they didn't burn themselves out on this too quick, and it seems just like they're like, hey, fuck it worked once, let's do it again. So depending on how cheesy this Money in the Bank match is, I think that's where they go with it. If they get like a bad review out of it, I think they're going to leave it alone for a long time. If they do good, they're just going to keep, throwing more gasoline on there and keep, burning everybody out on it. But it seems interesting enough. I actually want to watch it and see what the hell happens, because I'm not interested in Bray and Braun, honestly. I mean, I can't see Braun winning this match, especially if they're trying to build up Bray, but it also depends who they want to push more. If they're tired of Bray and they don't want The Fiend to be the face of the company, then Braun is probably going to win. Like, either way, I think it's going to suck with Braun winning or The Fiend winning. So, I mean, who knows, man? But I am interested in the Money in the Bank match for sure. That's just going to, it's going to be a spectacle, and it's going to be, WWE trying to make a movie, and it's probably going to look like Die Hard. So I'm in. Fuck yeah. But I definitely want to see that one. I'm actually interested in the WWE pay-per-view for once. It's been a long time. So that on that end, it's good. Let's see what else we got. Of course, NXT versus AEW. NXT has won the last 2 weeks, and that is very interesting. I'm happy for them in one sense, but not really in another, because those numbers are still terrible. And their demographic, as far as the 18 to 49, is really bad. It's been all the old people helping them out. So for all the people that are screaming out about NXT doing great, I mean, are most of you guys watching it? Like, all these young people that are out there like, NXT's better, blah, 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 AEW sucks. Are you guys actually watching it? Because it doesn't feel like you guys are watching it. It just feels like you're going on Twitter to start wars and shit. I mean, it sucks for both companies. Like I said, the narrative we push here on this channel is that we want both of these promotions to be above 1 million, and right now it's not looking very well. I can speak for myself. The last two AEW shows were kind of boring, and I think people know that they're taped, and you figure if they're taped, then probably nothing important is going to happen. We're just going to have to wait till they go live again, and I think that's what it takes, or I think that's what's pushing it for people to not to be watching it. I know for me, when I was watching it, it just felt like I was watching Dark. Like, especially the last episode. It was a fun episode. The matches were good and everything, but nothing of real consequences was happening, because we kind of know the way the tournament's going to end up, So, it's almost like not, you don't have to watch the match really, or the show really, because, I mean, you had Jake Hager and Jon Moxley, right? Cool vignette to build up everything, but you knew who was going to win, and you knew how that was going to end, and you know how Jake Hager works. So you know he wasn't going to take no real crazy bumps or nothing like that. So him against Moxley, like, I felt it should have been more of a bar fight. I don't know, man. It just kind of felt droning. And for, to be fair, for all the shit that we gave to the Edge and Orton match, this was right there with it as far as boring factor goes, man. So, hopefully the next few shows that they taped are, a little bit more exciting, have a little bit more oomph to them. Like, I remember back in the day when we used to watch Raw, right? And we knew that one was live and one was not. So it felt like every other week we weren't as invested. I just remember, like, saying, oh, this week's taped. Or, we found out the results, or we know it's taping, so nothing really big is going to happen. And so we would tune out and we wouldn't watch it. We'd wait for the live show until, Tony Schiavone gave away the ending for the Mankind match. So that's probably when we changed it to that, and I think they kind of started going live a little bit after that. So, this pandemic is really fucking with everybody, with every promotion. I know the AEW did what they can. They filmed a lot of stuff ahead of time. I'm just hoping that a lot of this stuff is going to be entertaining and doesn't feel like a dark episode. The empty arena match, I thought, had possibility of being cool and fun or whatever, and then it ended up just kind of not being that way. So it was kind of boring. So like I said, you got to be fair. I was not really entertained by that match. I'm hoping that we get better matches in the next coming weeks, because, I mean, the way it looks right now, if they stay, if the next few tape shows kind of stay at this level, you might not recover all those people back, or it's going to take longer for you to recover all those people back when the live shows come back. So, here's to hoping both shows end up doing a little bit more, NXT was actually a pretty fun show. I had fun watching that, except for the whole Dream thing. I'm kind of over the Dream. I mean, you guys know that if you listen to me. I'm not really sold on the Dream or so Velveteen Dream. So, but the Killer Cross thing might have, that has a little bit of my attention. Let's see. Let's hope they don't drop the ball with that guy. So, we'll see how that one goes. NXT and AEW in the next coming weeks. Hopefully, we get some more excitement in those shows. I know NXT. NXT had that little while where they were kind of boring, and they kind of came back into form. AEW is not kind of in that little area. Hopefully they start coming back into form too, and we got to start getting those numbers up for both those shows, because Wednesday night, we need to make that night matter, So, watch both shows, give them the support, and, blow up the Twitters, and let's get these two shows up and going again, because, as far as the main roster WWE shows, man, I don't even know what the hell's going on, honestly, except for like the headline news. I really don't know what's going on storyline wise, because they're more AEW and NXT. I'll watch those and in repeats over and over before I watch a freaking main roster show, man. Those are just unwatchable for me anyway. Let's see what else we got. We got anything else in the news this week? As far as I know, it doesn't look like anything else. I think we're okay. Well, I guess we can touch on AEW canceling the Double or Nothing, which sucks for me because I was supposed to go to the Vegas show on the Wednesday after that. So that definitely got canceled. Refunds. I know for the Double or Nothing, if you had a ticket, you can hold it till next year, because apparently they're coming back to Vegas next year. So that's good on that part if you had a ticket already. But the shows have been canceled. However, Double or Nothing will be on pay-per-view still, and I'm guessing in Florida. Maybe a smaller, or maybe the Daly's Place. What's it called? Daly Plaza? Daly's Place? With the wrestlers in the crowd. I mean, it's better than nothing. If you're going to go live, hopefully it's not taped. We'll just see, man. It's still, a few weeks ahead, and I hope, stuff starts opening up by then, because that's supposed to be my vacation week. I'm supposed to be going to a cool place where I'm supposed to stay for a few days with my lady. Hopefully this stuff starts opening up and I can watch Double or Nothing while I'm there. That's the plan anyway. So hopefully, this stuff starts opening up, guys. All right, I just wanted to drop a quick podcast, kind of, asked a couple times on Twitter if I'm going to drop a podcast about what's going on, and just wanted to get my thoughts on it, man. I want to know what you guys think in the comments section. Please let me know if you're listening to this podcast. I definitely love the audience participation. I want to hear your guys' comments. What do you guys think? Anything that I didn't touch on, any news that I didn't touch on, please put it in the comment section so I can talk about it the next time. And what else? Oh yeah, subscribe and like, notifications. Definitely hit the like button, man. We're like I said, we're trying to grow this little channel here. Trying to get to it whenever I can. So, this was a little late. I was trying to throw this up by like Thursday or Friday, and just, real life gets in the way, buddy. So, all right. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget, like I said, subscribe and like. Check out the Twitters. Check out the Instagrams, and I will talk to you guys next time. This has been Storm Your Car Podcast. See you later.
I couldn't find no woman. I found a lot of men that look like women.